Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. And welcome to Uncle Freezie Has a Thought, right? This is the audio podcast we try to do about once or twice a week, in which we tackle or talk about a couple of intriguing thoughts or narratives existing in the Knicks universe. And today I'm joined by one of my favorite people in Knicks universe, the Smoking Nick. And we are going to talk about this. Have the Knicks as an organization and as a fan base become a perennial playoff team, and have fans shifted their mindset on how they think about this product that we're seeing? Let me bring in my guy, the Smoking Nick. Smoke, what's good, bro? What's good, boss?
How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man.
And
I'm
thanks
good.
for having me as always. You already know the vibes.
Oh, for sure. I've been kind of wanting to do this for a long time because what people don't realize is that you and I are very, very similar in a lot of stuff. Very similar. It's almost uncanny how similar we are, right? And sometimes it gets to a point in our conversations where I'm trying to say something and you sometimes cut me off because you're saying the same thing that I was going to say, and vice versa. And sometimes I see you hold back a little bit and I'm like, yo, why you coming in for a soft landing, bro? Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come here, get in. So yeah. So for one, let me first salute everybody that's checking us out, right? Salute to everybody that's listening to us on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, on Amazon, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and everywhere else that you get great podcasts from. Salute to y'all, and thank you for y'all continued support. But I'm going to get us off to a start by asking the Smoky Nick. Bro, have the Knicks become a perennial playoff team?
Well, if we've been to the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 seasons, my answer would be yes, because that would be perennially,
Right.
because of the simple fact that we've done it within a 4 or 5 year span, and
Right.
the previous year we didn't live up to the year before, but our losses compared to our wins wasn't that far off.
Right.
So when I think about it, and do I think we projected to go to the playoff, regardless of outcome, right? Do I
Right.
think we projected to go to the playoffs again next year? Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would consider us a perennial all-star team. Or playoff team at this point.
Right. Right. The thing I think about, Smoke, is this. Where the Knicks were or are compared to where the Knicks were, say, 4 or 5 years ago, right? 4 or 5 years ago, the Knicks were a lottery team, terrible record, a mix of young players trying to find their way, journeymen trying to establish themselves in the league, lottery bus, Mario Hezonya's,
Yeah, I remember.
Noah Vonleh's, Emmanuel Moutier's, Trey Burks, those guys. So we were kind of a mix of a lot of different things, but we were the thing that was missing was good players. So right, all of them were bad in all shapes and sizes. Lottery bus, random journeyman guys, G leaguers, undrafted free agent. You remember Kadeem Allen?
I do remember Kadeem Allen.
Yeah.
I do remember
Garrett, you
Kadeem.
remember Billy Garrett?
Say that name again.
Billy Garrett.
Billy Garrett.
John Jenkins.
I remember. We had so many different players, man. It's crazy. And half of them was really trash for real. Like it was bad for a while. Like it was wild because we would have like one good player, but then the rest of the 14 be like under average, and it hurt. You know, they professionals, they know how to ball, but they're not the standouts in the league, you know?
Right. You remember Isaiah Hicks and Luke Cornett?
I do remember Hicks and Cornett.
And Ivan Rabb. We got Ivan Rabb from Memphis to be a G Leaguer. We was going to send him down to the G League for a little bit and bring him up to be the power forward of the future. Yeah, it makes you laugh, bro. It legit makes you laugh, bro.
It's funny. To be honest, I think it's funny because what was that one dude's name that used to shoot the threes and then do the discount double check?
Steve Novak.
Yeah. See, we had so many of those type players where they would flash, but the consistency wasn't there, so we could never keep them. You know, the Landry Fields types. You know,
right.
Yeah, right. I remember
the Josh Harrelsons, the Cle Anthony Earlys.
Oh God, stop.
Yeah, right. The Jerry and Grant. People forget Jerry. We drafted Jerry and Grant.
Oh, we definitely did.
Athletic point guard out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, we got the wrong Grant. I remember.
Yeah, we got the wrong Grant, bro. We got the wrong. That's like the story. That's like the story of the franchise. Well, that used to be how this franchise was defined. At least I think so now, right? But today, April of 2023, I think the narrative may have changed some. But I don't want to establish a narrative. What I like to do is take into account what has happened. Do you believe that the Knicks have moved on from that utter trash to a place where we can compete for a playoff spot every year?
Yes. And I think that because of the simple fact that we've overcome a lot of the narratives the fans and the media have created for this team, you know, and look, for example, the media created a narrative about Dolan, and he did the complete opposite of the narrative. You know what I mean? They thought he was too involved. They thought he needed to do this. So he gave people everything they wanted. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he put the right people in place. You know, people gonna always react because to be a fan is to be a fanatic. Is to be emotional, right?
Right.
You know, even in your logic, you're still a fan. So you somewhere there's a emotion, right? So
right.
For my second example is Tom Thibodeau, right? The first year, people didn't think much of Tom. We went to the playoffs. He got a break, right? The second year, he called all the strays because of the simple fact that they wanted to kill him the first year.
Right.
Because they didn't want him at all, right?
Okay.
So he was catching Randall strays at that point.
Right.
You know, because Randall was the consolation prize for us not getting KD and stuff like that.
Right.
But then he wins Coach of the Year, right?
Right. Yep.
So now that gives him longevity. The second year, we don't do as much, right? This year, the team, what we would think in everybody's minds, overachieves according to Vegas, right? Again, we overachieved. And if you watch the games, you would know that we didn't really overachieve. We just was better than a lot of these teams, so we beat them a lot. You feel what I'm saying? So,
right.
And we show flashes of that when we had a specific type of team, the not the previous year, but the year before that. So I think, yes, we're super solid to answer your original question because we're showing the progress that a winning team should be showing.
Okay.
You're gonna take a step back to take a step forward, and we took more of a step forward, didn't we?
Right. And when I think about it, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. So as I think about the progression from, say, well, it's 2023, right? So I'll start 5 years. I'll start with the Knox year, right? When I think about the progression from the Kevin Knox year, which was about 5 years ago, to today, I can't help but think and for those listening on audio podcast, I said A and put my thumbs up. I just made myself laugh. Like, why would I put my thumb up when I say the letter A, right? But anyway, A, the team went from drafting lottery busts all the time, or draft picks, or draft busts all the time, to, in that draft, sure, Kevin Knox was a bust, but the second round pick, Mitchell Robinson, was not a bust.
Yeah, no, we definitely got to steal. You could see it immediately with Mitch.
Right. And so the year before that, mind you, we took Frank Ntilikina and Damian Dotson.
Oh God.
And I'm still laughing at that right now. Right. But in that draft, I think Mitchell Robinson is where this team legit started turning the corner.
Right? What year we got Mitch the year we got Kevin Knox?
Yes. And also that
so
same
that was
season,
that was RJ. What year was?
No, RJ wasn't drafted yet.
No, we got Mitch first.
Yes. And so the other player that we got as an unsigned free agent was Alonzo Trier. And Alonzo Trier,
I remember Alonzo Trier.
Yeah, he actually looked like a decent NBA player that was just undisciplined.
Where did he land after he left us? I never heard of him after.
But nobody doubted Alonzo Trier's ability to score the basketball.
Yeah.
Right?
He could score.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm not really down on the Kevin Knox thing is because if you go by the 6 degrees of separation, Kevin Knox was a piece that helped us get Josh Hart. Not directly, but indirectly.
I think I think Kevin Hart. I said Kevin Knox. I'm thinking of something different. So I combined their names. Matter of fact,
right?
I think Kevin Knox. He was cool, but he wasn't aggressive enough.
Right.
And sometimes you can't be nonchalant and lackadaisical. They want you to be aggressive. I want you to go
assertive.
out there, assertive, aggressive, and
right.
and just go out there and play hard, and to look like he was going through the motion. So yeah, I agreed that he ultimately led through the grapevine of us getting Josh Hart. Yeah,
right. Because the Kevin Knox trade for Cam Reddish led to Cam Reddish being a part of the Josh Hart trade. Right. But there is a kind of like a BCAD type thing, right?
In the sense of
the 2018 draft started the path to goodness, where the Frank Ntilikina, Damian Dotson draft finished a lot of bad stuff. Right? Like there is
that was the last bad draft we had in a minute.
Right. As soon as we called Mitchell Robinson's name, the fortunes of the franchise started turning around. And while I'm not saying Mitchell Robinson is the savior, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that after we drafted Mitch, drafts after that started getting better and better. Right? Did we get Did we
We
get
did. We did steal Mitch out that draft because
right,
I remember his story when he came out. He didn't want to go to college,
right,
so he didn't play basketball for a year, so he dropped.
right,
You feel what I'm saying? We wouldn't even have got him if he would have went to like a Kentucky or you know what I mean.
right,
So
right,
whoever was on it, they scouted him, and it was like, oh, we could pick him up because the only reason they didn't want to pick him because they didn't see him play basketball recently.
right.
So we stole him based off the hype that he had throughout his career and high school career. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
Which was smart ultimately.
right, right. No doubt, no doubt. And so, as a Knicks fan, I look back at the where we were versus where we are today. Today, if I ask the smoking Nick, are you confident that the Knicks can beat the Cavs? Excuse me. If I ask you, are you confident that the Knicks can beat the Cavs in this first round playoff matchup? What would you say?
No. I had to laugh because what I was really gonna say, I ain't gonna say. But what I will say is that I have no doubt that we can beat them. You feel what I'm saying? I expected them to respond and punch back. We beat them 4 times in a row. You know what I mean? Of course, at
Right,
some point you're gonna take it personal and want to push back. You feel what I'm saying?
right,
But ultimately, if we continue to do or continue to go to our strengths, then we have no problem. We're not worried about them because ultimately they're going to revert back to Donovan Mitchell. If you think that what they did last night is going to continue when they get to the Garden, oh my goodness. They got another thing coming because when we really started winning is when we started winning in the Garden because it took us a minute to start winning in the Garden. And when we started winning in the Garden, then I was like, all right, we there.
Well, like most good teams, bro, you start at the bottom.
Correct.
Like most good teams, no matter what good team you point out, don't talk to me about Boston. Like, oh, Boston drafted Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum with the number 3 pick in the draft,
Back to back, year after year.
both of those guys, right? Both of those guys, right? But as Knicks fans, I'm contemplating this thing. I'm thinking that Knicks fans have progressed out of the lottery laden PTSD mindset that used to grip them every day to now the PTSD only shows up once a month. You feel me?
Yo, Freezie, you're funny.
Yeah.
You're mad funny because you ain't lying. Some people still got it though. Some people still suffering from that terrible mental disorder or whatever the case may be, right?
Definitely emotional thing because us as a franchise, there was a point that whatever could go wrong would go wrong.
Yeah.
And now in April of 2023, we feel like we have a puncher's chance against anyone.
I think, and I'm gonna just say it, but I think a lot of our fans got Stockholm. They was in love with the abuse. So now we're not being abused. It's different.
Right.
I'm just saying, no disrespect,
Right. Nah, no doubt. No doubt. And I'm here saying clearly that I think we may have, and that's the reason why I'm asking you the questions.
Yeah.
We may have gone from a team or fan base that really embraced being bad and clearly had a section of the fan base that wanted to tank.
Correct.
To now we feel like we have a puncher's chance at the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think we got more than a puncher's chance.
How much so?
I think we got a real chance. I don't mean to cut you off. I think the others have to step. I get why people doubt it and they want to blame who they want to blame. They want to blame Randall. They want to blame Brunson. They want to blame Thibodeau. But at some point, the others that showed up all year in spots got to show up more consistently every game to help us. We need Quickly. We need Grimes. These dudes know they need it.
Right.
Come on, man. It's not like they getting ostracized and they not getting the ball. They getting the ball and they don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So
right.
Those are two different things and scenarios, man. I feel like as we've heard all past couple of days since we've had our last game, I felt like Grimes ain't being aggressive enough. Like he needs to shoot more. I don't care if you break it or not, just shoot more. He needs to shoot way more. RJ needs to shoot way less. And you feel what I'm saying? Just play defense. And I think if RJ distributes and do certain things, then we could definitely, but I feel like what's really happened, like when I really assess it, and I apologize because I'm jumping all around, but when I really assess it, man, I feel like if it doesn't go on our way, all it's doing is putting on a microscope of what our true weaknesses are. You feel me? And
right, but Smoke, here's the thing.
What?
Here's the thing. Today, April 19th, 2023.
Yeah.
Our weaknesses are different than our weaknesses April 19th, 2018.
Correct. You're right. You're right.
Today, we're like, well, if such and such steps up, then we can beat a 50-win team in the playoffs. 5 years ago, this team was like.
That's a great point.
I wonder. And this is a Knicks fan.
That's a great point.
And shout out to Corey Lee in the chat. Blorange Tears fan. But say I'm gonna say this to Corey Lee in the chat, right? And he didn't mention this, but I'm just gonna shout him out. I just like saying his name on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, right? And yo, Corey Lee and Gunna and myself, we did a podcast about 2 weeks ago called The Weekend Buzz.
Okay.
That joint is on fire on Spotify.
Okay.
I think it's got like 200 downloads already.
I think this one's gonna do well too.
Yeah, of course. Right. But the thing is if it were 5 years ago, Knicks fans would be looking at Karis LeVert as a franchise savior. We'd be like, yo, Karis LeVert don't even start for them. Maybe we can trade for Karis LeVert and maybe he could come here and be the guy. Right?
That was the talk, though.
That was our mindset.
That was the talk, though.
Right? Our mindset was maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. can help us get to the playoffs.
Because, hold on, ain't five, you said 5 years ago, is this Randall 5th year on the Knicks or fourth?
Fourth season.
Fourth, so.
Well, he's got 4 complete seasons. RJ also.
So Mitch was here before Randall?
Yes.
That's hella far back.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's so far. Think about it. It's so far back.
Oh, because did Mitch play his first year?
He played in spurts. Remember, he started playing a lot once we traded KP and got DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is the fact that that's a revelation to you.
It's like 5 years ago. You don't remember every little instance. That's crazy. Because I thought he was drafted in 19, but RJ was drafted in 19. And I thought he was drafted the same year RJ was drafted. But it was Quickly who was drafted in 19.
And 20 with Obi.
Oh, 20 with Obi, yeah.
Right. Right.
With
and so when we talk about these things, Smoke, it's like finding $100 bill in your jacket pocket. You know how you put your jacket up for the winter?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go in there, you put it on, you reach in your pocket looking for your lighter or something, or your keys, and you pull out $100 bill. You're like, yo.
Or when you're doing laundry.
Yeah. Something, yeah. Yeah, it's like that nugget, like that $20 bill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, $100 bill, whatever, you know. When you talk about these things like these nuggets, you're like, man, I forgot about that. But you know what that speaks to? How far the franchise has come since then.
In a quick time, too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Real talk.
Yeah.
because 4 or 5 years ain't as long as people make it to seem to be. It's just as times keep going, so it seems like forever. That's why you reminded me, and I'm like, damn, you right.
Right. Yeah, man. And so and that's why I'm saying, like, that's what I'm saying. This journey that we're on, I don't know where we are in the journey. I just know we on one. You feel me?
I do.
Like Adam. Adam is in the chat. Shout out to Adam, right? Adam.
I
don't know where we are in the journey. I just know that we're on a journey. You feel me? You know how you have a dozed off on a trip and you wake up and you like, dang, man, all I see is trees over there. Where we at? Like, you on a journey, just don't know exactly where you are on that journey.
Taking the bus out here, man. Just just enjoying life and doing my thing, and then you wake up, you see terrain you ain't never seen before in your life.
Oh, right. Right.
Goats, cows, and horses and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Real talk.
And then you take another nap and you wake up and it might be the same thing, but it can't be, right? Because you took a nap for like an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, my thing is on this journey that we're on. How close are the Knicks to being a perennial playoff team every year?
How many times we got to go to the playoffs? Because I think, to be honest, Randall, Brunson, they probably got, probably good 6 years together, man.
Right.
Tops.
Right. So and here's the thing. One could ponder, one could ask the question, right? One could ask the question, what if the Knicks made the playoffs last year?
Oh,
would we be that perennial playoff team?
Of course we would, Free. But right. It was too many components that just didn't go in our favor that year because they did the previous year before that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we had COVID situations. Everybody was getting sick. Like, and they wasn't getting sick at the same time. They was getting sick like one after each other.
Yeah.
It was
passing it around.
It was weird. It was the weirdest thing. It's like, hold on, you didn't give it to nobody else at the same time you had it. He caught it right before you was coming back. It was the weirdest thing.
Like, why y'all coughing on each other? What's going on? What the hell going on?
Weird, I ain't gonna lie.
And so Smoke, one could say that based on what you just said, the Knicks are a perennial playoff team.
Correct, they are.
Right? Because that one season of the illness season, you could say that if that season never happened, this team's a playoff team. And now instead of talking about 2 out of 3, now you're talking about 3 straight seasons.
Yeah. And to be honest, we not nitpicking the season. Like if we talk about all the things, there's a lot of like we was even talking about, like you said it, but we not nitpicking it or just holding it on performance. There's a lot of situations. Fournier didn't defense, Kemba knees. You know what I mean?
Right.
We could explain every little situation if we was just nitpicking on why. But we didn't even take a major step back because the season before that we won 41 games. So in that year we won 37. So, and I know it was less games played, no fans, all blah blah blah.
Right.
But I didn't look at that. I looked at the progression of the team. If they would have won like 20 games, then I'd have been like, nah.
Okay. Now there's a difference. It's a seesaw, right?
It would have been a problem, right?
Right.
But 37 from 41, I'm like, all right, they teatering, right?
So, and a few healthy players,
here
or there, and we could have won, say, more games than we won the season before.
And then look, now we went from 37 to what? 47. You see how it went from 41 to 37 to 47. It's a seesaw. We're teetering. So if you're looking at it objectively, you know what I mean, then you would see that, all right, we on the cusp of being there all the time. That's how I thought. That's how I looked at it.
Right. And then plus the addition of Jalen Brunson, I think buys us some some NBA street cred. Some.
Which is crazy because ultimately I do think he came here to make a name for himself, which he should have.
Right.
But for the whole league or these reporters that don't watch the games just leapfrog him over Randall, that's actually gave him a reason to come here, right? Because regardless if the situation wasn't right, he could have took that $55 million. Right. So Randall set the situation up to where he even want to come here. And Randall and others, not just him by himself, right? You know what I mean? I don't want to just make it seem like he didn't have help, because he definitely had help, especially the Reggie Bullocks, the Alfred Paytons in them. You feel what I'm saying? They definitely helped. RJ as well.
There were some, and listen, there were some bad signings during this stretch.
Oh yeah, there were.
Like we legit signed Wayne Ellington.
Facts.
We signed Alfred Payton.
Alfred Payton was, Alfred, I gotta push back on Alfred a little bit. Alfred was a dog, man. I ain't gonna lie. He couldn't shoot a lick, but he definitely could distribute that ball, and he was gonna play D and give you heart, man. He contributed to get us getting them 41 wins, and he got poo-pooed by the fans. And I think they kind of be listening to the fan base, man. I think they do, man. They more tapped in than we think they are, man. I'm telling you, they be listening.
Right. And the reason why I say the Alfred Payton signing was a bad signing is not because of Alfred Payton himself, but because of the available free agents that were out there, and we couldn't get them, and we had to bring in Alfred Payton.
Yeah.
Right. No disrespect to Alfred Payton, but you're not Chris Paul.
No,
Chris Paul was traded that offseason. John Wall was traded that offseason. Russell Westbrook was traded that offseason. Right. So Fred VanVleet re-signed with Toronto that offseason. So no disrespect to Alfred Payton. I'm just saying that, and the grand scheme of things, like where we were, versus where he was. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. If the Knicks are a perennial playoff team, what would it take for the Knicks to become a perennial championship contender?
Oh God. To be honest, RJ Barrett, we love you. I didn't love the soccer deal. I don't want to pound and compound, fracture on his head. But we need a 3-and-D wing. You feel me? We got every other piece. We can stretch it out. I think it's unfortunate, but we might need more established veterans on this team. Now that we got two people because Julius Randle would be considered a perennial all-star now, right?
Right.
So, and then we expect if Jalen Brunson keep up what he did this year, he'll be an all-star next year, right?
Yep.
So
maybe even all NBA.
He might make it this year. He can make third team,
right?
Which is respectable. I thought he was top 5 point guard in the league all season.
Okay.
But to answer your question, to win a perennial championship team,
to contend for a championship every year,
we need a little more shooting around Brunson and Randall.
Okay.
Or confident shooters. The defense is good, but we need more confident shooters that's going to hit them in them critical moments, to be honest.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
So you mentioned that maybe it's a RJ thing. I'm thinking it's a Grimes thing.
What, his aggressiveness?
No. Listen, hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out on it. I'm not throwing away Quentin Grimes, right? My belief is that Quentin Grimes, in about a year and a half, 2 years, will be a better NBA player than Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Right? But right now, he is not that guy. Right? If you're saying a year and a half, 2 years, right? And I'm using the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard model to go by, to use that as something to go by, where a player plays in college for multiple years, comes to a playoff caliber team, learns in the wings how to become a impact player, and then all of a sudden he can carry the franchise. I think Quentin Grimes will be that. Today, he is nowhere close to that. Right? I think Quentin Grimes is going to have a Jimmy Butler type of impact on the Knicks. Right?
I see he can
Right.
grow.
And,
I definitely think he can grow.
But not only grow, but grow in the shadows, right? Grow with no pressure on him, right? So you don't fast forward his development. Just grow behind the scenes, right? And then when the time comes for him to be that guy, he can take the Paul George approach. Now, when you double team David West and Roy Hibbert don't show up in the playoffs, now when you kick that three out to Paul George, he's knocking them down. 6 3-pointers in a game and providing elite defense. I think Grimes will be that, but not today. Not in April 2023. I think Grimes will become that probably in January of 2024, January, February, March of 24.
So
right?
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Do you think Quentin Grimes or Emmanuel Quickly will have any big games throughout this series?
Right. I'm gonna get to that. But the thing is when we ask the question about the perennial playoff team, right? The perennial playoff team, it's gonna require Grimes and Quickly. And I think Quickly is almost there. I think Quickly is seeing new things, and he's got to get adjusted to it. Quickly doesn't have a problem being assertive, right? Where his struggles come in at is he sees new stuff, he takes some time to adjust, but once he adjusts, it's over, right? It's like babies learning how to walk. You know how babies learn how to walk? The first thing they do is they stand up and do that bounce, and then they sit down.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, they ask you to borrow the keys to the car. You're like, hey, bro, you right before you know what I'm saying? And so the thing with Quickly just needs some time to learn, right? What NBA teams are going to throw at him. He's not in the Grimes stage. And what Quentin Grimes is today is Quentin Grimes doesn't know what type of NBA player he can become yet. Right? Quickly knows what type of player he can become. Now he is working on what NBA teams are throwing at him based on who he is.
Yeah.
Right. And so with that said, based on the question that you asked me, you know, will they have an impact this series? I don't think so. Not against Cleveland. Do I think we could beat Cleveland despite that? Yes.
Yeah, and that was my second question. Like, right. So if they don't have an impact, can we still win?
Well, hear me out on this. Hear me out because the answer is incomplete, right? My answer is incomplete.
Okay.
While I don't think they will significantly impact the Cleveland series, I do believe they will have a small impact in the next series, whether it's Miami or Milwaukee. Because like the baby reference is like the baby food. The more you play, the further you get along, the more confident you get, the more you realize what NBA, who you are as a player, the more you realize what NBA teams are doing to you, and the more you can impact games. Right? So I think the Knicks can defeat the Cavs despite Quickly and Grimes not providing a huge impact. But after that, NBA, y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out. Right? I'm not saying that both are going to be 20-point per game scorers. What I'm saying is once they learn how to balance the floor, and now you got to guard Randall one-on-one, Brunson one-on-one, Grimes one-on-one, RJ one-on-one, Quickly one-on-one. Obi one-on-one. Now, no matter what defensive scheme you throw at them, and I'm saying defensively, I mean defensively because our team defensively is going to hold. Our team defensively is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look back 5 years ago, just retro a little bit, right? We would never have imagined we'd be having this conversation, right? We would never have imagined. You know why? Because in that draft, and I think I may be right. I might be off a little bit, but in that Kevin Knox draft, in that Mitchell Robinson draft, where Mitch was a second round pick, so was Jalen Brunson.
I'm listening.
So,
Continue.
yeah, so was Jalen Brunson. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy. He was drafted that's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Kevin Knox was drafted before Jalen Brunson?
Yes.
Don't tell me that. Don't
Yes.
tell me that. Don't tell me
Yes.
that.
And so while it doesn't seem what I'm getting at is don't sleep on the progress that this team is making. Right. And the question was asked, I asked the question, have the Knicks become a perennial playoff team?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Perception is not reality, is ultimately what I'm hearing from you, even though that's probably not what you're saying. But continue. Sorry.
Right. I'm gonna say yes to then because I trust your opinion. I trust your opinion on a lot of stuff. So I'll go with it also.
Yeah.
And the reason being is the reason why I'll go with it also, and not just as a cosign, is the signs are abundantly clear that we may be a perennial playoff team, right? But the second part of that is have Knicks fans acknowledged that this is a perennial playoff team?
I think we are a perennial playoff team. We've proven it. You feel what I'm saying? We've only improved. You feel me? I know people want to kill and it being overcritical. I think the overcritical is just, just the pettiness of the fan base. You know what I mean? It's kind of toxic. It is what it is. But, excuse me, I think the fact that we could bounce back and get the train right back on track just shows the improvement and where our mindset as a team has been. We've only improved. You feel what I'm saying? And then we look 10 times better. Like, we know what our weaknesses are. You feel what I'm saying? And we should address the weaknesses. I get that some players don't show up sometimes, like Quickly and Grimes. And I think Grimes should be more aggressive and really just be like, clapping at Randall. And I'm like, I don't care if we get into it, bro. I need you to pass me the ball, bro. Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you got to show them, like, I'm regardless of your antics or who you are, pass me the ball if you want to win. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
At the right time. Don't pass it to me late after you made 5 pump fakes. You feel what I'm saying? Pass it to me on time, in rhythm. So, you know what I mean? And I think all these things play a culminative effect, all of it.
Right. And you know what? What I gather from that is it's time to show and prove.
Correct.
And out of time for show and tell. Because 5 years ago, we were show and tell. Right? 5 years ago, we used to tell people, yo, this is what we're going to be. Look at us, and one day we're drinking milk. One day we're going to be such and such and such. And today, we're like, yo, wait till Friday. You're going to see.
Can I tell you something? When that season, when we won the 41 games, I was living with some family, or they were living with me at the time. And
either way,
it doesn't matter. But I would come home and I would just watch. I was watching every game at that time, like every game, and I'm like, yo, we would lose some games, but we was super competitive in every single game, and I'm like, yo, bro, we're kind of good.
Right.
And people nah, bro, it's the Knicks. He just going off the reputation and what people been saying. I'm like, bro, you're not watching the games. I watch every game. We're good.
Right. Right.
And then we matured from there and we're still good.
So let me ask just really quick. I want to ask this last part of the question. right? Before we get out of here, right? Um, have Knicks fans, because I hear what you're saying, right? But ultimately, you can have a YouTube channel, man, get a lot of views and all that stuff. And if y'all hadn't checked out the Smoking Nick on YouTube, right? Very entertaining. Let me say it that way. Very, very entertaining, right? And so, because I don't want to give away your content, that's for you to give away, right? Sure. But here's the thing: when are Knicks fans going to come to grips that this team is pretty good? Like, what will it take? What is that watershed moment? What is that sunbeam through the clouds moment for the Knicks, where everybody realizes that the Knicks are good? What will it take?
We got to win this series, I think. But I think us as fans, we just, especially as New York fans, we too hot and cold. When we win, we through the roof, and when we lose, we in Antarctica. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's like you got to stay. Me personally, this is how I feel about myself. I don't think other people they can do whatever they want, but I try to stay even keel. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm hyped, sometimes I'm, you know what I mean? So I'm on both sides of it. So I just think they'll come to grips with it when they see us win a series or go far in the playoffs, and then they'll respect the players a lot more. But it'll be short lived. You know what I mean? It won't be long lived.
Let me say this. I'm gonna say, and as I say this, I checked on the Bucks score, the Bucks and the Heat, and I checked on it because I was thinking if the Heat beat the Bucks, then if the Knicks have a possibility of making the Eastern Conference Finals. But as I say that, the Bucks are dog walking the Heat right now.
Of course they are.
Without Giannis. Right. I think they're about 30.
Without Giannis?
Without Giannis, yes.
That's not okay.
That they are dog walking the Heat. Right. But let me say this though. I think if the Knicks beat the Cavs and play against Milwaukee and put up a good fight,
yeah,
I think Knicks fans will take a collective deep breath and realize that the Knicks started at the bottom. Now they're here.
Man.
And then I heard that somewhere before. I can't quite remember where I heard it from, but it seems apropos. It seems apropos for this moment. If the Knicks beat the Cavs and put up a good showing against the Bucks, all you could say is we started at the bottom. Now we here.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you 100%. I think we came a long way. You feel me? And to be honest, those same people that was crying about whatever they was crying about should be grateful that we got players like Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson and even RJ Barrett, because you feel what I'm saying? He got drafted in 19, and when we signed Randle and they went through their bumps and bruises, but they've been growing together, so they at least got some type of rapport. You know what I mean? At least at that,
right?
Which go a long way, man. When you're trying to build, you feel me?
Right.
I know RJ ain't where we want him to be right now, and I ain't making no excuses for bro, but I'm just saying at least he got that rapport, and he trusts bro, and they trust him. Because you see, they know he ain't like that, and they still give him the ball. So,
right. but
that's trust.
Right, but check this out. What if the Knicks win a playoff series? Chat, when's the last time the Knicks won a playoff series?
That'd be amazing.
And King Ribby is in the building. King Ribby says Drake started from the bottom. Drake started from the bottom.
No, we knew it was that. I thought you was clearly making a joke. We knew what it was, King Ribby.
Right.
That's why I laughed.
But it's still apropos.
It was apropos. Yeah, that's why I didn't give away the punchline. You feel what I'm saying? Because I caught it and then it was like, that's funny.
right. And so the thing is when you consider when the last time the Knicks won a playoff series, and when the last time we looked like a serious
2013.
Right. But so you're talking 10 seasons.
Correct.
10 seasons.
And 7
right?
of those seasons we had trash teams. Straight.
Right.
Straight.
Think about it. We had 10 seasons of 808 and heartbreaks. I can't remember where that come from, but it sounds apropos for this
I
moment.
wish you had a bomb so you could drop that. That's a double dose. That was 2 headshots right there. Bang bang.
Right. So
Fireness,
so
fireness.
10 full seasons, bro, of 808s and heartbreaks, bro.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me wrap this up. Let me put a bow on it. Smoke. Let me thank you. Let me thank you for coming through and hanging out with me. Bro, I said 25 to 40 minutes.
It's all
and
good,
and
man.
we went over.
We could keep going. It's all good.
Yeah, man. But I'm gonna wrap it up here and thank everybody for coming through. Everybody in the chat for coming and hanging out with us. Smoke, can you tell everybody where they can catch you and all your stuff?
Yeah, man. You can catch me on YouTube at The Smoking Nick. You could catch me on Twitter at Laons, The Smoking Nick. You know what I mean? Right. I just like to talk my mess heavily, aggressively. You feel what I'm saying? Might use a couple unfortunate words, a little too much, respectfully. But it is what it is, man. We just out here talking truth, talking basketball. And we talk a couple other topics when we, derail from the topic. But you know what I mean? Shout out to Uncle Freezie for having me, man.
Yeah, man. That's because the conversation, because the conversation with us is always an in-depth conversation.
Correct.
And we can go to those places like smoke. You can't stop smoke from going to certain places, bro. It's like water.
Yeah, I can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
You can't stop water from going places that water don't want to go.
Fact.
Right? But in the same thing for smoke, you can't stop smoke from going places that it don't want to go. Right? But shout out to everybody listening to us on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spotify. I appreciate the incredible support and love that y'all show by downloading the podcast. Man, it's to a point where it's overwhelming at times. Like I click the refresh button and see the numbers jump up. It's almost overwhelming at times. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here.
Get to it, man. Keep doing it, man. Keep giving these people this great content, doing what you do, man. It's Uncle Freezie, the Uncle Chief Rocker. You heard?
Yeah, man. And that's number one Chief Rocker. I'm officially the number one Chief Rocker. People
the number one Chief Rocker.
There might be some chiefs that try to rock the spot, but Uncle Freezie is the number one Chief Rocker. Talking that talk the way that you like to have that Knicks talk to y'all. We out of here, y'all. Peace.